Hello everybody. Today we'll be talking about Article 4 Credit versus Contract of UCP 600. So let me read Article 4A. A credit by its nature is a separate transaction from the sale or other contract on which it may be based. Banks are in no way concerned with or bound by such contract, even if any reference whatsoever to such contract is included in the credit. So it means a documentary credit has its own terms and conditions which do not rely upon the terms or performance of the sales contract. Credit and sales contract are different terms. Like credit is related to making payment upon presentation of credit compliant document from the beneficiary bank, whereas a sales or order contract is the contract between the applicant and the beneficiary for sales of goods or services, etc., and nothing to do with the issuing bank. Okay. Consequently, the undertaking of a bank to honor, to negotiate, or to fulfill any other obligation under the credit is not subject to claims or defenses by the applicant resulting from its relationships with the issuing bank or with the beneficiary. Means the applicant might have like good relationship with the beneficiary and with the issuing bank. So having uh, having maintaining good relationship with the issuing bank does not restrict the issuing bank to make the payment to the nominated bank who has honored or negotiated the document, and the issuing bank should fulfill any other obligations under the credit as well. Okay, so here relationships has nothing to do with the issuing bank. Okay, because a credit is a separate transaction. And next point is a beneficiary can in no case avail itself of the contractual relationships existing between the banks or between the applicant and the issuing bank. Okay, here the beneficiary cannot take the advantage simply because it has got like contractual relationships with its bank or with the applicant and with the issuing bank. Okay, so here let me clarify the meaning of contractual relationships. Okay, here contractual relationships means like if there is a relationships between the beneficiary and the beneficiary bank or nominated bank, then that is all about negotiation. If it's a relationship between the applicant and beneficiary, then it's a sales contract. And if it's the relationship between the issuing bank and the applicant, then it's like making the payment to the presenting bank upon complying presentation. So now let's move on to Article 4B. An issuing bank should discourage any attempt by the applicant to include as an integral part of the credit copies of the underlying contract, pro forma invoice, and the like. It means like the applicant approaches the bank and requests the issuing bank to issue a letter of credit in favor of the beneficiary, and the applicant might request the issuing bank to you know to put certain conditions in while issuing an LC, and it is the bank's duty who should scrutinize those conditions, and the bank should not put those conditions like which may create disputes or which are ambiguous in nature. Okay, so the issuing bank should discourage us any attempt by the applicant like putting those types of conditions while issuing a letter of credit that is there in their underlying contract or in pro forma invoice or any other contracts. Okay, but but we should not forget that the sales contract may be the basis for the generation of letter of credit, but it is entirely separate and must not form a part of the LC. So Guys, that's all about Article 4 of UCP 600. Hope you like it, and if you do have any comment, please write it down. Thanks.